All right, looks like we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube tonight. Not gonna fire up Instagram. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties with the phone. So let's go ahead and get some stuff going here. So, Susan checking in from California, first out of the gate. Good to see you as always. Keith is here. Woo woo. Oh, the chair is sinking. Denise is here. Texas. Karen's here from Long Island. Jeff, hello. And I didn't go anywhere. I just been crazy busy. Corey, good evening. Kaylin, woohoo, hello. Jan, hello. Yeah, I have. Tonight was like the first night I've been home before 8 o'clock in like 11 days. So it's been absolutely crazy, but good. Roxanne's checking in from Newfoundland. Good evening. We're now international. Very fun. But yeah, had a good trip up to Detroit. Had a great time up there. We did. Kathy, good evening. Lee from Arkansas, hello. Abby from Toledo, hello. Linda checking in from Indiana. Gotcha. Renee from Lake Elsinore. Hola. Maria, hola. Good evening for you from San Antonio. I told you, we talked before, I've lived in Cibolo for a long time. Shirt, Cibolo area. So, Amy, hello. Good to see you again as well. Judy, hello. Jennifer Jones from Georgia. Yeah, Corey, it is good to have a live show. Yeah, I tell you, I don't know if who misses it more, me or you, but it's definitely a good mix, right? So, Amy, hello. Julie, still up, not for long. Yeah, it was very nice to meet you. So when we were up in Detroit, Julie was the one that arranged all of that. So that was very nice of her to do that. She's amazing. So thank you for that. Very nice to meet you. And you should get something in the mail in the next day or two, Julie. Cindy says, playing with your points worked. Scale is moving. Good job. Yeah, Carrie, I'm not on Instagram tonight. Here's why. Dead. So I don't have another way to get on Instagram. So I had to choose YouTube because I want the video to save to YouTube. And then Facebook, of course, because we always do Facebook. So, yeah, so this is Instagram. Toast. Tomorrow we'll be on Instagram, though. That is the plan. Yeah, you can watch it here, Carrie. Yeah, and I'm glad you did. It's funny when there was like 3 or 4 people specifically that I knew would not be on Instagram or would be on Instagram only because they're not on Facebook. You were one of them. Jason is the other one. I'm not sure if Jason will make it over to YouTube or not. But there was a couple of you on Instagram that I was like, ooh, do I do YouTube or Instagram, knowing that a lot of you guys like Instagram better. But because Instagram cuts me out at an hour, and because YouTube saves the video for me automatically, it saves me some time. Tonight I opted to go with YouTube. I will get this phone working, and tomorrow night when we do it, we will be on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So very cool. And good to see you. Yes, I'm glad to be back. Thanks for all kinds of new logo stuff, right? I was playing around for a couple days getting some new logos going. So I think I'm gonna like them. I've got the embroidery files back, so that's kind of cool. Terry checking in from Vero Beach, Moscow, Idaho. Sue, good evening to you. Danielle, hey. Penny says hi. Yeah, Linda. It's been a while for sure. Well, I'll fill you in all of it in just a second as to what's all going on, but all good stuff, but crazy. Diane, hope all is well. That doesn't sound too good up in Wisconsin, but obviously if you're able to take a moment to check in, that must be decent. So prayers and thoughts for you and your family up there for sure. Keith from New York. Yep, Keith is another one of those. Keith is crazy, you guys. So just so you know, those of you on Facebook who can see Keith, he wanted to come out to Detroit to watch the taping of the show, but he lives in New York, so he flew out at like, I don't know, he's on like the 6 o'clock flight, landed at 8 o'clock, went to the hotel, slept for like a minute, went to the studio. Next day, got up and flew home in the middle of the worst snowstorm Detroit's had in years. So, Keith, thank you for coming out, man. It was very, very cool to meet you officially. It was fun. Tamarug, hello. Sue, missed you guys too. Yep. Chrissy from West Hartford. Amanda, you need it live. Here it is. Well, here it is. Very fun. It's Renee says it's been 2 weeks since I've caught a live. I think it's been 2 weeks since we've done one. So you haven't missed anything. That's good news. Rebecca, hello. Let's see. Tanny's hello. Liz says hi, everyone. Kim says so much cheering in our household when Fat Dag is live. That's funny. Cindy says my son was amazed when you responded. Shout out for Dexter. Dexter! How are you? 8 years old, and what are you doing up? I hope you're on the West Coast somewhere. It's bedtime. Yeah, gotcha, Ann. Can't wait to see you again. I got to know that you went and saw Heather in Pennsylvania. I was jealous. That was pretty cool. So yeah, that's got some good stuff brewing. Rebecca, good to see you too. Lori had jury duty this week, missed 3 days of work, and you went to the gym twice, so missed your meeting too. Urgh. Jury duty. Yeah, Linda said hi, got you. Yeah, I would go to bed too. You know, about 20 minutes ago, I was chatting and I was like, do I go to bed or do I do a live show? And I opted to do a live show, but I should have gone to bed. Stacy, hello. Dan, hello, stranger. Denise says hi. Deb from Naperville, hello. Got you. Yeah, Diane, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. I agree. Amy from Kentucky, hello. Yeah, the snow is melting in Michigan. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was. Let's talk about Michigan for a little bit, right? So, first things first. I learned quite a bit about Michigan. So, for those of you following along, I had an amazing opportunity to be on the Ask Dr. Nandy television show. A request came out through some of the channels that I frequent in, and the show had asked for some folks who had had something to say on the topic of yo-yo dieting. So I submitted a quick little package. They picked it up. They said, "Yep, we wanted you to come up." They said they would pay for part of the trip, which was nice. And then they say they pay for the airfare. I said, no, we'll drive up. So I took care of that. So you figure from Indianapolis to Detroit, 4-hour drive most days, right? So here's where we messed up. So my mom and dad flew in. They wanted to go see the taping. I thought that would be kind of cool. So they flew in here. We drove up to Detroit. When we got to Fort Wayne, Indiana, if you're geographically challenged, it's about 2 hours north of here. It's about halfway to Detroit. We're driving, and all of a sudden, it's just a blanket of snow. Detroit ended up getting about 8 to 9 inches of snow. We drove through all of that. What would have been about a 2-hour drive really ended up being almost a 4-hour drive. So it took us, a little over 6 hours to get there. The piece I wish I would have done differently is we didn't have any boots. I didn't have any gloves. So had something gone wrong on the trip, we would have been stranded, and it probably would have been not good. So I made a mental note next time, if you're going to go for a long road trip, take a hat, take some mittens, take some gloves, that type of stuff. So anyway, but here's the deal. So we get to the studio. It's Detroit Public Television is where the thing is. Best I know, the interview will air on Discovery Channel, I heard. It'll air on Discovery, and then, of course, on Detroit Public Television. And then they said they will send me links so I can push out. I'm not sure of the release date. It may not release until the fall, which is great news for you because what's going to happen is between now and the fall, you're going to continue working the program. You're going to be at goal. So then when we watch this show together for the first time, we're all at goal and we're all happy and smiling. So that'll be kind of cool. This is kind of like your little motivation to stick with it for a little bit. You can do that. All right, so we get there. We get escorted back into what they call the green room. The green room is the room where all of the folks who are going to be on the show kind of wait for a little bit. Still had no idea. At this point, I mean, I'd seen the show script, but I had no idea how much, how the show was going to work. Ended up hanging out with Pete Thomas. I don't know if you guys know Pete Thomas. He was he's on season 2 of The Biggest Loser. And he didn't win on the show, but he ended up being the at-home winner. So hung out with him for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 hours. Had a lot of great conversation. Dude's amazing. At one point, he was well over 400 pounds, he said. And, you look at him today, the dude's fit, the dude's ripped, and you could tell he's all in mentally. So that was kind of fun. Hung out with him. Hung out with a guy named Charles. Charles is embarking on his weight loss journey again, young man. He very, very ready to do this, so that was kind of cool to hang out with him. Hung out with some folks who were yoga instructors and a world record champion. She has a world record for some of her cycling stuff. So all in all, had a great trip. Get on the set for the show, which I thought was kind of neat. And so get up there and really, my 15 minutes of fame ended up being about 6 minutes of fame, and I ended up sharing it with someone else. So it ended up being about maybe 2 sentences that's going to make it to the television show. But the audience was full of people who came in. I don't know, I'm guessing about 30 people or so made it to the meetup after. And many of them were at the show taping. So an amazing turnout from you guys, which I'm very, very grateful for that. I can't thank you enough for being there. But it was really cool to sit on stage and look into the audience and see so many familiar faces and names. And Dr. Nandy is a great dude. Asked a couple questions about, about the why and about staying focused. And I told briefly the story of my wingman and how my wingman keeps me focused. And kind of we ended the segment with, 95% of life is just showing up. So that's what we did. So it was an amazing show. Next morning, hit the road, came back to Indianapolis, and been working nonstop since then. And here we are today. So that's kind of the gist in a nutshell. But it was, it was just an amazing time for so many different reasons. But the biggest one was the meetup after. I thought was really cool. You saw Julie was on a second ago. So Julie orchestrated us to go to Shaker's Bar and Grill. And we just kind of really just hung out. And I didn't, initially, I didn't order any food. I just I worked my way around the table because I want to really just sit and chat with everybody and say, tell me about your journey. Tell me about, how much have you lost and that type of stuff. And it was just so much fun to get to meet everybody. So it inspired me to want to kind of do some more meetups. So one of the things I'm probably going to start working on, can't do it in March because March is too busy, but I'd love to plan an April trip. And those I started digging into some data on some of the numbers here. I think the show can support a trip a month. I'm saying this for the first time. This is the first time I've heard it too. So, but what I'm thinking of doing is every month, flying out somewhere or going somewhere, spending a weekend, and flying back. So I'll look for you as to where that will be. Do we go to California? Do we go to Oklahoma? Do we go to Florida? I'll look to you for that kind of guidance, but I'm thinking starting in April, that's what I'm going to start working on. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. I got to do run some numbers and see what it looks like, but that's kind of, yeah. So again, Seattle, that's, I haven't been to Seattle. So yeah, so that's kind of the plan, at least up here. And if you've been following along this for any sense of time, you know that I am very, very random when it comes to that sort of stuff. So we'll just have to hang out and see. So what that does is that just keeps you engaged. You stay with me, we'll stay together, and we'll surprise and do some of that fun stuff. So cool. That catches up on the Detroit trip. I'm going to scroll down. I missed a whole bunch of comments, but I'm going to scroll down. Shane, looks like Shane's from Oregon. Oh, and then I forgot to say too. And then Brooke is from Broken Arrow. Yep. So we'll be in Broken Arrow in May. Actually, not Broken Arrow. I'll be in Owasso in May. Is the plan right now. Anyway, so ended that whole trip to Detroit. Came back to an article I had written for Reader's Digest was published. I thought that was kind of cool too to kind of end the whole trip. So very very fun. Um, Very fun. Ha! So good. I'm glad Cindy said made us night. Glad you're in California, which means it's only 7:15 there. So that's good. Very good. Yeah, Georgine. There's two calendars. One of them shows. Did I change? Let me just check because I saw that too. Someone else sent me the. Lori sent me that as an email. Let's see what's going on with that. I had an issue the other day where I discovered that if you sent me an email, yeah, so it's working. It's if you go to fatdag.com, the left side calendar works. That comes directly from Google. The one that's in Facebook, it just there's no events published in Facebook. I just need to copy the events over. But the calendar on the left side works just fine on fatdag.com. So anyway, I discovered an issue where if you sent me an email as a calendar invite, it would automatically accept. So I had to get that fixed. So that was kind of interesting. Um, let's see. Ah, yes, Alicia, you're right. I did. I did learn about the power of makeup. So I got there. Obviously, they wished me into the hair and makeup. And the first thing the lady said, she goes, "Your hair's perfect. Don't touch it." When I was, this is not it. This is work hair. This is not fun hair. But so no, she thought my hair was great. And then put some stuff here, put some stuff here. Um, yeah, not gonna lie, I could do that. If someone did my makeup every morning, I would do it. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Scrolling through. Ah, Alicia, good job and accepting a great new job. Very cool. Robin checking in from Dayton. Very cool. Um, yeah, I agree with Linda. The meetings are fun this time of year. Yeah, Nancy, this is work hair. So this is military hair, and then I can't even do it. And that's podcast hair. Military hair. So I have military hair and podcast hair. Funny. All right, so let me get all the way. Oh, tons of comments I missed. Very fun. Um, Donna says on the iPad, the left side, the whole. I wonder why that's not working. I'll have to check that. I'll check it tonight, Donna, or tomorrow probably, and see why it's not. I can see it here. I'm on the site right now, and it's working. So I must have done something. Let me just try real quick, just for a millisecond, and then we'll get into the show. Episode 172 is ready. Um, Donna, try it again. Try. I think I fixed it, Donna. Let me know if that did or not. Um, all right, so cool. I think I just fixed the calendar. There was a button that said "Make available to public" that I unclicked last week. So anyway, let's do that. All right, are you ready? Let's do this. Let's get episode 172. Right? Yep, so the calendar is fixed on the left. The Facebook calendar still is going to be, I just have to populate it. Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3. All right, so cool. All right, episode 172. Denise, woohoo! I think I saw, what did I see? I think I saw someone. Hey, yeah, Donna said, hi all, my first time here. Hi, Donna. So we kind of have, Carrie sent a little bell for first time people. So we ring the bell, right, for first time people. I don't know if we do it or not, but we did. We just did. So, why not? Test, 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 test. All right, let's do this. Here we go. Cheers. Carrie's watching on YouTube. Cheers. This bottle's a lot bigger than my normal bottle, so we can't drink the whole thing. Jan, you're watching on Facebook and YouTube? I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 172 of Wise Advice. It's always an honor to be hanging out here with you. We're here live on Facebook, live on YouTube. I gave them a quick recap of where we've been for a little while. Of course, if you're following along inside the Wise Advice app from your app store, you'll notice that between episode 171 and 172, it's been a couple days. And, you know, we do the show every single day, except for the days that we don't. And in this case, the days that we don't have really outnumbered the days that we do. And a lot of that has just been because of the schedule. And, you know, we did an event with the Pacers not too long ago where we took 20 kids out and gave them the time of their lives where they played on the basketball court with Scott Pollard. Shout out to you, Scott, if you're listening. Dude was amazing. He had those kids out there dribbling, running laps, and shooting layups. And we had an amazing evening. We had the entire place to ourselves. It was so much fun. The kids walked in the locker room. In the locker room was their name hanging on the locker. Their jerseys were there, and it was just such an amazing event for those kids. Left that, went to Weight Watcher meeting, went to another event, and then up to Detroit where we filmed the Ask Dr. Nandy television show. Unfortunately, Detroit was getting about 9 inches of snow up there, so spent the entire weekend in the snow, came back and just been nonstop until here we are. It's Friday night. It's Thursday night. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Episode 172, getting it done. I thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of everything we got going on here. Lots of exciting news to tell you about. Keep an eye on fatdag.com. That's where I'm going to put a lot of that information. Of course, if you want to know when the show goes live, Twitter is your best bet for that. Follow Wise Advice on Twitter. I'm looking at, and I'm going to rely on you to give me that information. I'm looking at a trip in April to come out somewhere, either the West Coast, East Coast, Southeast, who knows. But Your input will help me start that. We'll start putting some polls out there and see maybe where we're going to end up in April. Out of the gate, Liz writes in and says, well, hi, Fat Dag. You were kind enough to give me a shout out back on November 7th, 2017, episode 138 of Wise Advice, for losing 56 pounds and reaching goal. Although the scale said I was at goal technically, I still didn't have that I'm at goal feeling you so often talk about. So I just want to give you an update with what continued focus and perseverance can do. I'm now just shy of a 70-pound loss, and I'm feeling more like the best version of me I've been in my entire adult life. My why is ever changing now as I reach a little further each day to unlock all of the hidden potential that has just been there waiting for me. Thanks for helping me find the courage to believe that I could get this done. Your wingman, Liz, out of Fayetteville, Georgia. Well, Liz, what an amazing email. Congratulations on getting to goal. Congratulations on getting to lifetime. And I really, really like what you said. When you were losing back in November, you got to episode 138 here, you're down 56 pounds to reach goal, but you didn't feel that goal feeling. And it's what I talked about quite often, is exactly like you said, is that you'll know when you get to goal. You'll know when you hop on that scale and don't want to lose any more weight. But the reality is if you get to your goal and you've built a healthy lifestyle and you're eating healthy and you're moving more, you're getting more exercise, and you're just generally living a healthy life, your body is going to dictate how much it wants to weigh. Your responsibility in this whole thing is just to take care of it. Your responsibility is to eat right. Your responsibility is to give it some sort of exercise, maybe some movement, depending on where you are in your journey. That's your responsibility. That's the only piece of this journey you can control. You can't control the number on the scale. You can't control whether you're going to be down 56 pounds or where you're going to be down 70 pounds. But what you've figured out is when you get to 56 pounds down and you didn't exactly feel like you were at goal, you kept living happy and a healthy life. And your body has determined that another 13 pounds can go. That's goal. And the reason that is what I call goal is because you weren't trying to lose weight these last 13 pounds, really. You were just trying to live healthy. You were just trying to get to that better version of yourself, pushing a little further each day, digging deep into a true lifestyle change. I'm a firm believer that when you get to the point, when you get on the scale and you don't want to lose any more weight, and that goal feeling that I often talk about of just, you know it. It's a look and a feel. When you get there, you'll never give it back. And if you get to the point where you get really, really close, you haven't fully cemented in that feeling that I'm talking about. So it's hard to capture that and keep it bundled up. It's why I encourage you just to continue to eat right, continue to live healthy and be healthy. Find the courage that you need to get this done. I know you can do it. I know it's possible. I've seen so many people do this. And they all do it the same way, is they just stand there and just be healthy. That's all it takes. I tell you, when I was up filming the Ask Dr. Nandy show, I got the chance to hang out with Big Brother season number 2, Pete Thomas. Pete Thomas was the at-home winner for season number 2. He lost about 80 pounds on the show, continued on at home, dropped about another 130 pounds, and came back as the at-home winner. We had many, many conversations as we were waiting for the television show to tape. And one of the things him and I both agreed on, it was actually kind of cool to have a conversation with this guy because he looks fantastic. He's an amazing dude. And we agreed that it's a mindset. We agreed that, everything that you do on this journey is mental. You've got to keep your head in the game. You've got to kind of want to win. And if you want to win, you can go in. And I asked him, how was being on The Biggest Loser? I think I said Big Brother earlier, but how was being on The Biggest Loser? And he said, man, it was terrible. He goes, they take people who are overweight, they make you work out 4 hours a day. He goes, it's just not fun. And that's not sustainable. What's sustainable is that gave him the tools and the drive and the motivation to push forward. It gave him the courage to find everything he knew he could do and get it done. That's what you just did, Liz. That's what gets you to 70 pounds down. That's what makes you awesome. Keep up the amazing work. Next email is from Alyssa. She says, hi Fat Dag, my name is Alyssa, and I just want to say thanks for all of your work. You and the people of Connect have motivated me in ways that are so hard to put into words. I know it's almost everyone's story, but I've struggled with my weight since middle school. I'm pretty sure that was the first of many times that I joined Weight Watchers. In between, I tried everything else, hypnotherapy, 12 steps, you name it. I tried it. And I rarely lost more than 10 pounds. And now I'm down 10%. Actually more, 27 pounds so far. But here I am, and for once, I know why I'm here. Your show and Connect are game changers, and I know this time around will be different. This feels different. The one thing I now know is that it's a lifetime commitment. When you talk about maintenance, it's realistic, and now I have realistic expectations of life post weight loss. It's not all rainbows and pizza. It still takes work and commitment. Thank you for that, Alyssa. I'm gonna Facebook rebooted on me. Let me get this going here. Give me a second. I can edit out the audio. I tell you, sometimes I think we're crazy back. So those of you on Facebook, apparently the Facebook app decided it wanted to reboot in the middle of the live stream. Not reboot, reload from the servers. So I'm not sure what that is about, but anyway, pick it up where we left off. So Alyssa, amazing work. You're absolutely welcome. I agree with you. Everything that we talked about, as far as how to get this done, how to really dig into this, it's finding that motivation that works. And I agree with you. The folks on Connect were that motivation for me. It still are. I still visit Connect once or twice a day, and I find inspiration. I find motivation. And you're absolutely right. It's hard to put it in words. And just like you, I struggled with my weight for so long. Most of it as an adult. Luckily, in high school, I was an athlete. I wasn't overweight, but once I went to college, I started picking up the weight. But so many times that I try and just lose weight, and I would lose a little bit of weight, gain some weight, lose some weight, gain some weight. Just like you could, I could rarely lose 10 pounds. So here you are down 10%. What an amazing accomplishment that is. And if you've listened to the show any stretch of time, you know that if you've hit your 10% weight loss goal, you can do whatever you want. Any goal you want is possible. 10% proves that you know how to follow a plan. You know how to set a goal. You know how to work hard to get a goal. You know how to work, and if you don't get it the first time, you continue to do it. You continue to try. You continue to stay focused. You wake up every day on fire wanting to get it done. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to not quit, and that is how you get to a 10% weight loss. Congratulations on doing that. And what's really, really interesting is to see that in this stage of the game for you, where you've gone through a series of times where you could rarely lose more than 10 pounds, you've now almost tripled that weight loss. Which means you're on fire, which means you're focused, which means you can do anything you want to do. Now I appreciate the shout out, and there are a lot of folks who write in and say the show is a game changer, Connect is a game changer, and this time around it feels different. And what I can tell you is the reason this time feels different for you is because you're focused. You have found some tools to put in your toolbox that remind you every single day that you can do this. You wake up every single day, something reminds you you can do it. You get through the day, and that day restarts the next day, and you're again reminded that you can do it. And you found out what your why is, and you balanced much of your life up against why am I doing this, and the why will always win. Now, talking about maintenance, I believe maintenance is the best part of this journey because for me, maintenance is realistic. I have realistic expectations, and to think that for the rest of my life I have to do everything that I've done to get here is completely doable. It's completely sustainable. After you lose the weight, after you get to a point where you no longer want to lose any more weight, those realistic expectations of what does life look like? What does life feel like? I tell you, it's the most amazing feeling. And I honestly, I wish would have gotten here sooner, but I'm certainly glad I didn't because I believe everything I learned up to this point is what's keeping me honest and keeping me accountable and keeping me at this point. No, it's not all rainbows and pizza, but it's absolutely doable. It absolutely takes work. It absolutely takes commitment. For the rest of your life, you have to understand what it is you're after. What it is you're after is a healthy, happy life. Well, listen, you have that. You're giving yourself that prize. Thank you for being part of the team here. Let's continue to get it done. Out of Oklahoma, Chris writes in and says, hey, for starters, thank you for your awesome podcast. I listened to it early on in 2017, but I stopped. My wife and I started Weight Watchers September of 2016. We were doing awesome and had a great 6 months. By mid-March, I was down 75 pounds and she was pushing 50. But then life happened and we both stalled. And we end up needing to quit Weight Watchers in June. By December, we had both gained everything back. We started back on December 26th and I've struggled since. I've been having trouble with comparing everything I do and how I'm doing with the way things were the last time. My main question is, how do I not think about the last time? How do I become successful again? I know the program works because I was successful. I feel that thinking and comparing to the last time, it's sabotaging me this time. Now, mid-Feb, I've decided that as of today, I'm cleaning my slate. I took my 75-pound charm, I kept it with me, took it off my keys and my wife, and I threw the charm in the lake near our place. We're getting rid of everything and removing the previous success and starting over. Thanks for doing what you do. You make a difference, and you make us all listening know that we can do this. Thank you again, Chris from Oklahoma. Well, Chris, let's address this. This is a very common thing here, and so many people join Weight Watchers, and we know the program works, right? If you follow any of the Weight Watcher ambassadors, of which I am not one, but paraphrase with me for a second. But if you follow them, a lot of them will put in the bottom of their post something to the effect of members following the plan can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. So I have to assume that because they're able to put that in their post, that somehow that's been vetted by a legal team. So there obviously is proof that the program works, a proof enough where it can be a disclaimer in the bottom of someone's social media post who's being promoted to say that. So Chris, the program absolutely works. That's cool. We know that. Chris, you have had success on the program. You're down 75 pounds. You don't lose 75 pounds on accident. Your wife lost 50 pounds. You don't together lose 125 pounds accidentally. Now, I absolutely understand the stall. I understand me potentially having to quit Weight Watchers, but what I want to convey to you is that it doesn't mean you have to give up on eating healthy. I'm pretty convinced at this point in my journey that I could just switch to just tracking mentally, making healthy choices, and be able to do fairly well. I understand now because of doing the plan for so long. I understand generally how much food I need in the day, and I understand generally what foods are good for me and what foods are bad for me. There's still times that I do need to scan something to get that idea, to get the actual data. But Chris, you guys had this figured out. Go back to what worked. And so the piece of your email that I'll be honest with you, I wasn't exactly thrilled when I read is that you want to start over, but it's actually impossible to start over. Because you gained quite a bit of knowledge during that process. When you got to the point you were down 75 pounds, you learned quite a bit. Everything you learned in that journey is what got you that success. You can't unlearn that. You can't forget that. You can't just say, I never knew any of that. So that success, what you do now is you build on that. Now, taking your 75-pound charm and tossing it, I get the mindset behind that, but you still earned it. It's still yours. You still lost 75 pounds. Now we just got to figure out what it takes for you to maintain that. As you start this journey, as you reattempt, as you re-go after something that is so worth having, you're armed with so much more knowledge than you've ever been. First and foremost is you're armed with the knowledge of knowing that it's possible. Not only knowing that it is possible, but you know that you can do it. That's an amazing head start as you embark on this journey. So don't start over. Take the knowledge that you've learned and now let's look for maybe the things that derailed you, the things that caused you to quit. Let's find ways to prevent that from happening. And that is how you build a successful life. If you listen to the show for any time, you know it took me 5 times to get to the point where I finally understood that I had to completely change my life. You know, the first times that I lost 30, 40, 50 pounds, whatever it was, I was unwilling to change my life. What I was willing to do was suppress some bad habits for a little while and get to a point where I was complacent and then allow those bad habits to come back. This time I learned that every time that I did that, I ended up rejoining at a much higher weight. And so what I promised myself this time is that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to push forward until I no longer recognize those bad habits that put me overweight. And so that's what you need to take from this journey, Chris. You need to figure out what derailed you, how does that derail you, and what plan are you going to put in place after you get your success to continue living a healthy, happy life. And for so many people, that's continuing to check in with a weekly meeting. You know, you see often so many times lifetime members as they skip and they go to that once a month meeting. You can go every week. You can continue do the same things that you did to lose the weight to maintain the weight, and that is how you get it done. Thanks for your email, Chris. You guys got this. I know you do. I believe you can do it. From Pacifica, California, May writes in, says, Hi, Fat Dag. Since it's been a while, I felt the need to give you an update on my journey. I've been a lifetimer since September 2016, and it's been a learning experience. I learned that I like being healthy. I like exercising regularly. I like wearing all the clothes in my closet, and they fit comfortably. I like going for a 5K run at a whim. I like making the right food choices most of the time. I like having confidence. Since the holidays, though, I've lost my lifetime at goal status, and I needed to refocus. One thing I changed is that I've been a daily weigher since I hit lifetime, but this week I stopped. I found myself allowing that black box to have all of the power, and it would dictate the rest of my day. I would compare that number to your weight fluctuations that was posted on Facebook. I know that wasn't good for me. So I went back to the basics, weighing my food, tracking everything, and being more mindful of my food choices. I know that I can't lose weight, but I can control what food I eat and how much activity I get. As I was on the rowing machine today, I looked around me and there were about 20 different cardio machines, treadmills, elliptical machines, and stationary bikes, each with a person on them. It got me thinking that each person is in on their own machine, going through their own journey, and it's very unique to them, but we're all at the gym together. No one is judging anyone or questioning why someone else is there. They're only thinking of what they need to do to make a change to something they didn't like about themselves. We are all in this together, but separately. It's all our own journey, and it's not to be compared with anyone else's. I found myself doing that more and more lately, and I'm hoping by looking at it differently, I can keep in my own lane. This isn't much of a celebratory email, but more of a realization email that even at lifetime, we're always managing our obesity, and it is for life. Just thought it was a good time to check in. Wishing you good focus. May from Pacifica, California. May, very, very great email. I think you get it. The list you wrote at the beginning, the things that you like, being healthy, exercising, going for a 5K run on a whim, making the right food choices, having confidence, wearing clothes in your closet, all of those things come from someone who is happy with themselves. Now, it doesn't matter, where you are in your weight loss journey. Those things you can celebrate any time you want. And by finding them, recognizing them, and keeping inventory of them, that's what builds the momentum to want you to continue doing this. Congratulations at hitting a lifetime. That's a very, very difficult accomplishment, and you were able to get it done. Now, as you continue to refocus to get back to your goal weight, you're right. I do post my weight every single day on the scale. I get up every single morning. I hop on the scale. It auto posts to Facebook. It auto goes to Twitter. I do that to remind me that I'm mentally engaged. I don't care what the number is within reason, right? And so all I'm doing is telling the world that, good morning, I've checked in. I'm here. I'm ready. I don't know what today's going to look like. I don't know how successful it's going to be. But what I can promise you is when I wake up in the morning, I will get on the scale. And by that scale tweeting out, that is me saying good morning to you. And all it is me saying, I've checked in. I've checked in. Whatever happened yesterday happened. I'm checked in today. And today I'm going to make the adjustments that I need. The scale has absolutely no power over me. None. I have the power of, no matter what happened in my day before, hopping on the scale, checking in, and saying, it's a new day, I'm going to get it done. You're absolutely right. We can't control the number, but we can control how we react to it. I love your analogy of going to the gym, and that happened to me too. Early on in my journey, one of the things I was thinking, as I walked into the gym at 265 pounds, 263 and a half, sorry, when I walked into the gym at 263.5 pounds, I made the assumption that everyone there, it was New Year's Eve, New Year's Day-ish. I made the assumption that everyone would be looking at me and watching me, but you're absolutely right. No one cared. They were all focused on everything they had to do for their own success. That's what we got to do on this journey. You got to find a way to have success. The way to have success is to build your own plan, to work your own plan, to stay in your own lane. There may come a time when you're on an elliptical and you may not know how to use the elliptical, so you look over real quick and you've kind of watched someone for a little bit use the elliptical, and then you go back and you go to your own elliptical and do the exercise that you saw them do, that you saw was working for them. But you're doing your own journey. And you've got to stay in your own lane. And you've heard the quote many times, I forget who says it, but comparison is the thief of joy. And so the things that you're celebrating and that are wonderful, in your life, as you continue to celebrate them, that's staying in your lane, focusing on all the things that you're doing right to get the results that you want, which ultimately gets you success, and that keeps us celebrating. That's what this whole journey is about. It's just absolutely celebrating everything that we got going on in our journey. And so when I was on the television show Ask Dr. Nandy last week, and he asked me, one of the questions that they asked was, what do you do for someone who hasn't quite figured their journey out? And one of the things I wanted to say, I didn't get into the show, but I had it ready to go, was, find things along your way that are goals. Find things that you can celebrate. If you can set a small goal and mark it off, you will be encouraged to set another goal and mark it off. And the more check marks that you have and the more boxes you have, the more you build that confidence. And the more that confidence reminds you that you can do anything that you want. That's living. That's an amazing life. That's an amazing way to go through this. And so just by setting small goals and getting it done, staying in your own lane, focusing on you, you can get to goal. And when you get to goal and you get to the point where you hop on the scale and you no longer want to lose any more weight, we celebrate. Well, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com. Click on Wise Advice Podcast. Send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. If you've listened for any length of time, you know this show is 100% listener content generated. If you don't email in, I have nothing to talk about. So go ahead, shoot in your email. Go to fatdag.com, send it in. I want you to email in those celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want you to take a minute to write it down. I want you to take 2 minutes of your day to celebrate you. Tell me what you're doing right. Tell me what you want to help with. Let's get it done together. I'm truly honored to walk this journey with you. But that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Episode 172 in the books. So that was crazy. Facebook decided in the middle of all that, the app auto-updated. That was crazy. I was sitting here watching, and all of a sudden I see the app said, restarting or whatever. I'm like, that's bonkers. So, cool. So, game plan. 172 is in the books. Game plan. I'm going to get this out. I have a gym appointment in the morning. Obviously, it's been a long week. Got a very, very long weekend coming up. 3-day weekend is good. So I will. I'm positive we'll get a couple shows in this weekend. This weekend I got nothing really on the calendar. So that is the plan for this weekend. Trying to get caught up on a bunch of other little things, but so much fun. Tanny, thank you for being here. It's always fun to do this. Very, 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 very fun. So. But let's go ahead and let's wrap this up. Ooh, look at that. Abby says, I'm down my 10%. So you heard me, right? If you hit 10%, you can hit goal. I've said that more than once, and I firmly, firmly believe that to be true. So, Pam, I missed you guys too, for sure. It was, trust me when I say the calendar was full. I am not exaggerating. I have a to-do list a mile long. There's some things on there that really only take about 5 minutes to do. Haven't had a chance to get them done. So it's crazy how from nonstop it's been. I think the next 3 days it starts to lighten up. So that's really, really good. So very cool. Let's see. Roxanne, 1 year at goal. Very nice. Congratulations with that. Lori took a spin class last Saturday, doing another this Saturday with your friend and chiropractor, running a 5K on the 24th. Fantastic. It's an amazing group hanging out with you guys. Roxanne's 1 year at Lifetime. I got it. Nancy, you're very welcome. So let's go ahead and let's wrap this up. Let me get this show published, get it pushed out to the app for all of you who are waiting for it on the app. But thank you for being here. Keep an eye on fatdag.com and Twitter. That is, yeah, Patty, trust me, I know, and I did. Originally we were going to do a show last night, but I'm like, it's Valentine's Day. Why would we do a show on Valentine's Day, right? So we went to dinner instead, and so here we are tonight. So, all right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for being here. Let's go. We'll sign off YouTube. Carrie and everyone there on YouTube, good night.